Welcome to the Seelenfüller channel. Today, we are going to dive deep into a topic that many people are reluctant to say out loud. The anxiety and inner restlessness that hold you back, block the flow of money, and quietly sabotage your financial growth. This audio is for you if you sense that it is not just lack of organization or bad luck, but an anxious inner storm that paralyzes your decisions, steals your clarity, and lets money slip through your fingers again and again the moment you start to move forward. Perhaps you know this feeling very well. The racing mind in the middle of the night that adds up bills, plays out scenarios, thinking, what if it is not enough? What if the client does not pay? What if this project fails? During the day you work, you produce, you do your best to get everything right. But deep inside, a constant thread of tension is running. The anxiety that everything could collapse at any moment. You may be earning money, but you do not feel at peace with it. Or you have good ideas, but anxiety enters the room long before your determination arrives. And behind this anxiety lives a very old fear of not being safe. From the outside, it often looks as if others move with much more ease. They close deals with more confidence, name their prices, say no when something is not worth it, and make decisions with a calmness you hardly know. You may think, I know what I should do. I know what the right decision would be. But in the decisive moment, my anxiety speaks louder. And then you postpone. You freeze. You say, I will decide later. And money, opportunities, and growth pass you by without you really being able to grasp them. The truth is painful and at the same time liberating. You are not lacking intelligence, not lacking abilities, not lacking worth. The problem is not you as a person. What sabotages you is the state you live in, a nervous system stuck in chronic anxiety and permanent high alert, a body that has learned to associate money with danger, rejection, shame, or failure. It is not just about mindset. It is the whole package: identity, beliefs, emotional memory, and the energetic field you send out the moment you think about money and success. Today, this begins to change. In this session, we are not going to teach you to ignore your anxiety or to pretend it is not there. We are doing something much more powerful. We will show you how anxiety and fear block your financial field, and how you can free your nervous system so that money finally gets permission to flow to you. You will learn to think, feel, and act like someone who makes decisions with more calm, safety, and clarity. And in doing so, you create an inner space in which abundance is welcome. This audio is not meant to play in the background while you do 1,000 other things. It is a direct encounter with the place within you where anxiety and money mix. The more you stay with it until the very last second, the more strongly your subconscious will anchor a new truth. You can build a wealthy life without anxiety being the driving force behind everything. It is possible to prosper from an inner place of peace, even when fear appears, without letting it take over your whole system. Before we continue, remove as many distractions as possible. Close unnecessary tabs, put your phone on silent or airplane mode, and allow yourself to have these minutes just for you. If you like, take a notebook to write down a sentence, an image, or an insight that touches you deeply. Now take just one more conscious breath. Breathe in through your nose, and let the exhale flow out through your mouth a little longer, as if you were telling your body, for a few minutes everything is okay. I can listen. I can look at this. Silently say to yourself, very simply, I am here. I am present. I am ready to understand how anxiety influences my relationship with money, and I am ready to choose something different. From now on, this space belongs to you. Let us honestly look at what is happening inside you today. Financial anxiety rarely begins with the bill itself. It begins in the mind, with a chain of automatic thoughts that you barely question anymore. Ideas like, I always make money complicated. I'm not allowed to make a mistake or everything is over. Money is never enough. Others manage it, I do not. If I let go, something bad will happen. They are quiet but constant sentences that color your inner reality in the shades of lack. These thoughts do not stay in the head. The body responds. You may feel a tightness in your chest when you open the banking app. Your breath may become shallow when someone says investment, new project, or business decision. You may feel a lump in your throat when it is time to name your price, or a queasy feeling in your stomach when you have to make an important decision involving money. Your body reacts as if it were facing real danger, even though you are only looking at numbers and possibilities. This is how anxiety speaks through your body. From this state, your behavior inevitably becomes chaotic. Anxiety makes you postpone offers that could change your game. It makes you lower your prices just so that you do not lose the client. It makes you take on jobs that drain you because you are afraid of ending up with nothing. Or it paralyzes you completely when it comes to investing in something that could help you grow. Because the voice, "What if it goes wrong?" screams so loudly that you can no longer hear the voice of opportunity. All of this sends, whether you want it to or not, a clear message to life, to the universe, and to other people. I do not trust myself. I do not trust life. I do not trust that I can hold my own success. It is as if you had one foot on the accelerator, wanting to grow, to earn more, to build more, and at the same time the other foot on the brake, whispering, "It is dangerous. Better stay here, even if it hurts. At least it is familiar." This is the inner push and pull of anxiety. Now imagine that right in the center of your chest, there is an invisible magnet, your financial magnet. It works around the clock, independent of your conscious will, and sends out signals based on what you believe is possible and safe for you. If anxiety is your base, this magnet is tuned to worry, urgency, fear of loss, and scarcity. It does not only attract numbers, but situations and decisions that match this inner state. Until now, this magnet has been aligned with anxiety and fear. From this moment on, we begin to align it with abundance, clarity, and trust. The turning point begins when you understand that it is not about attracting money at any cost, but about becoming someone whose nervous system is regulated enough to hold bigger decisions, to receive more, and not to self-sabotage at the first wave of anxiety. True financial freedom does not mean living without responsibility. It means carrying responsibilities without every movement triggering an inner storm. You are not just born as someone who has to be anxious around money forever. You are someone who, over the course of your life, learned to associate money with pressure, criticism, control, arguments, comparison, or risk. Perhaps you witnessed adults arguing about money. Perhaps you know the feeling of shame about your financial situation. Perhaps you once lost a lot, and since then, every decision feels dangerous. Today you begin to see yourself differently, as a channel through which money can flow more calmly, rather than as a constant battlefield. Begin to adopt a new identity within yourself. Instead of repeating over and over, "I am so anxious with money," you may say, "I am learning to be a safe space for money." Instead of, "I always make the wrong decisions," you say, "I am becoming someone who decides with more calm, clarity, and courage." This anxious state is not a final judgment. States can change when you change the way you see yourself. From this new way of looking at yourself, something begins to shift deep inside. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and recognize yourself as the center of your financial reality. You can say inwardly, with growing conviction, "I am the field where abundance wants to stay." I am someone who learns from every experience instead of condemning myself for every mistake. I am capable of relating to money much more calmly than I learned to in the past. The more you recognize this, the more another kind of statement begins to make sense. Not as pretty sentences, but as inner decisions. You can say, "From today on, I choose that my nervous system is no longer the enemy of my money, but its ally. I choose to approach money topics with curiosity, not with panic. I choose to see numbers as a source of information, not as a judgment of my worth." Feel how this kind of statement is different from begging or pleading. It is a clear positioning. You are not saying, please, someday, maybe. You are saying, I am ready to be this person now. And as your identity moves from chronic anxiety toward more presence, your field responds. You feel a bit more whole, a bit less at the mercy of everything, a bit more present in your decisions. From here, some truths may sink into you like new inner settings. You can say them silently in the first person, as if they already belong to you. I am someone who can feel anxiety and even fear and still move forward. Money is not a monster. It is a tool that responds to my inner stance. My mind no longer has to invent catastrophes in order for me to take action. I am allowed to act from clarity. I deserve a life in which financial decisions are not always accompanied by panic. I deserve opportunities that help me grow, not just survive. My relationship with money is changing. I stop treating money like an enemy that threatens my peace and begin to see it as a flow that can be nurtured, directed, and expanded. I can learn, adjust, experiment without turning every experience into an inner courtroom. New opportunities in business, projects, collaborations, and income streams find their way to me more easily because I am less busy putting out fires and more available to recognize pathways. I really begin to believe that prosperity does not demand that I live in a permanent state of anxiety and alarm. Success is not synonymous with exhaustion. Abundance is not synonymous with collapse. The more I come to rest inwardly in the certainty of my worth, the more my decisions mirror this certainty. I can say no to possibilities that keep me small and yes to those that let me grow, even when they touch old fears. You have just gone through a process that goes far beyond just mental work. In these minutes, you have begun to calm the system that for years automatically reacted to money with the highest level of alarm. You have started to realign your inner magnet, that quiet point in your chest that used to vibrate in anxiety, scarcity, and overwhelm. The story of fight and survival is beginning to make room for flow and earning. This is not instant magic, but it is a structural change. Practically, this means that in upcoming situations, completely different reactions may suddenly appear. You may still feel discomfort when you open the banking app, but notice that you can still breathe and look at the numbers a bit more neutrally. You may notice that in your next money conversation, you are less defensive and more willing to listen, to ask questions, to negotiate. You may find that your first reaction to an opportunity is no longer automatically, "This will surely go wrong," but "How can I shape this from the person I am becoming?" When your nervous system feels safer, your perception of possibilities changes. You see solutions where previously there were only walls. People who value your work approach you more easily because your energy is no longer a silent cry for help, but an invitation to partnership, respect, and fair pay. Money that used to come and go just as quickly now has more reasons to stay because you are less busy reacting and more able to hold, to plan, and to choose consciously. It is important that you understand. The change that has begun here is energetic, emotional, and related to your identity. It does not depend on a specific account balance. It begins within you, and outer results gradually align with the way you act from this new place of calm, worth, and clarity. Your subconscious is beginning to understand a new language when it comes to abundance. The message is, it is safe for me to prosper without constantly collapsing inside. Your financial life is entering a new phase of flow and ease. This does not mean that there will never again be challenges, but it does mean that you respond to them in a completely different way. From now on, your responsibility is to honor this new program, to act from your worth, no longer from anxiety and panic. To choose steps that fit the person you are becoming, and not the old identity that was shaped by fear and scarcity. If a sentence from this audio has touched you in a special way, if an inner image has become strong, or if a decision has matured within you while you were listening, share in the comments what your biggest insight today was. This is not just a symbolic act. It is a way to put the new version of you into words, and to strengthen this collective field of people who have chosen to prosper with more peace. I am the voice of the Realign channel. Subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and turn on the notification bell to receive daily meditations and content for abundance, prosperity, and success.